welcome to episode 10 of the Beat the First Man podcast with me, Reedy. 10 episodes in. This started out as a sort of trial it and see how it goes thing, and it's growing from there quite nicely. Subscribers keep growing. We're up to 79 now, just one short of the 80 we talked about last week, so that's great. So again, thank you all, guys. Without you guys watching and subscribing, really there's no point. It's just been me talking to myself. So every view that I get genuinely is much appreciated. So please keep watching, please keep subscribing. Anyone who's got any ideas or anything they want to talk about, anything, or want to be on the show, if you want to be a guest on Zooming In, then just drop me a line. I'm sure we can squeeze you all in at some stage. So what we got on this week's show? Well, Little Shouty Man is back. He wasn't here last week, but he's back discussing the important issues of the footballing week. Ted with his little Knob of the Week award, and trust me, do not miss Ted this week. It'll be very good. That's all I can say. And Zooming In has two guests, and yes, finally on the show today we will have from Stoke Gabriel FC the first team manager Mark Richardson and the goalkeeper Josh Organ. Enough about that, we'll come back to that a bit later. So let's get on with the show then. So the lineal European Cups. In the lineal European Cup, Bayern Munich continued to defend it. They showed no signs of letting that trophy go. Last Saturday they were very close to losing it. They only drew with Werder Bremen at home, but thankfully for them, of course, if you draw it and you're the holders, you retain the trophy. So they clung onto it. In midweek they then played Salzburg, and they beat them as well, although by all accounts Salzburg gave them a good run for their money, but Munich continue to hold the trophy, and they take that into today's games where they travel to a Stuttgart side who are unbeaten in 7 matches. So is today the day that the trophy is finally wrestled away from Bayern Munich? In the lineal UEFA Cup, Diego Simeone oversaw Atletico Madrid retained the trophy last Saturday. They beat Barcelona 1-0 in a classic Simeone performance. And then in the week, they needed a draw to retain the trophy. They were held 0-0 by Lokomotiv Moscow, but they both hold the trophy on virtue of the fact that they had it. One interesting little thing is I think it's about a week's time, Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid do meet. So if they do both still hold the trophies at that time, then the lineal UEFA Cup will not be played for. They'll just play for the European Cup. And automatically, I've come up with a way of working it. If it means that two teams have got the trophy, the UEFA Cup would just bounce on to another week or onto something else. So Atletico Madrid face Valencia today away, mid-table side. So it's not easy. Valencia will fancy their chances of getting their hands on the UEFA Cup, but let's see how that pans out today. So Little Shouty Man, he wasn't here last week. He can't be on every week. There's not going to be something to moan about every week in terms of football, but. Today's one that he's moaning about, as you know, we talk about the big important things, all the really massive things to get your teeth into. And Little Shouty Man's moan this week is football kick-off times. So football is a game traditionally played by 11 men against 11 men, or 11 women against 11 women if it's women's football, on a Saturday at 3 o'clock. Not on a Saturday at 12:30. Not on a Saturday at 8 p.m. and the new favourite as well, which seems to be happening, on a Monday at 5:30. Now, I do know we're in lockdown time, so I know things are a little bit different and the TV companies want to put every single game on. But here's a thought. Why not put a game on head-to-head? It doesn't matter. We don't have to watch them all. Nobody watches them all anyway. Let's be honest. Everyone picks and chooses. So Monday night, for example, and this is a bit closer to home living in Leicester. So Leicester are at home to Fulham with a 5:30 kickoff. Now, of course, it matters not for fans travelling to the game, but 5:30. Most people finishing work 5, half 5. Not even going to get home to see the game anyway, so I put it on then. It's absolutely ridiculous. Get back to 3 o'clock on a Saturday, one game on a Sunday at 4 o'clock maybe, but that's it. It's just, it's rubbish. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. The first thing you do, you check your games and then you see what day they're going to be playing. For example, the Leeds games for December have just been changed, and we now play Chelsea next Saturday with an 8 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday evening. It's just, that is not a football time. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, make sure you Leicester fans can settle down with your macaroni, cheese and chips on Monday, and you can watch Leicester Fulham at 5:30. That'd be nice, won't it? So here he is. All right, Ted. Jesus Christ, Ted. You stink of booze. What's going on? You've had a tough week. Well, what's the matter? How's Myla? You were FaceTiming Myla Kunis last week. I don't want to talk about it. Well, why don't you want to talk about it? It's Myla Kunis. I'm not being funny. There's a lot of people watching this show who would like to be FaceTiming Myla Kunis. What's happened? She found out about me and Amanda Seyfried and what we did after TED 2. Can we just get on with the show? Ted, come on. All right, okay. So, Little Knob of the Week award time. So, Ted, any nominations for this week? Harry Winks. What the hell's Harry Winks done? Did I see his wonder goal in midweek? Yeah, I did. You know, the one where he was way out wide and crossed it into the net, and he actually said afterwards that he crossed it. That's why I'm nominating him. What? So you're nominating him for being honest? I'm not being funny. You're always pulling people up for that. No way. With a goal like that, I'd have been claiming it all day long, saying I tried it. But you can't nominate him for Little Knob of the Week for the fact he was honest and said that he crossed the ball that drifted into the corner of the net. Not having it. He's a Little Knob nomination. Fair enough. So Harry Winks is your first nomination. So has he won it? Nope. Not a chance. Well, come on then. Who's won it this week? Oh, Darnell Fisher of Preston North End. I'm not being funny, Ted. I think I know my football, and I think, you know, I've proved on this show that you can talk about all countries and everything, but what the bloody hell has Darnell Fisher done? Roll VT. Okay, roll VT. That's what Darnell Fisher did. So he is definitely the Little Knob of the Week. Yeah, so Darnell Fisher has got Little Knob of the Week for his, should we call them actions, last Saturday against Sheffield Wednesday. There was another nomination, Matty Taylor of Oxford United, who apparently did the same thing 2 days later, but not quite so obvious. He was a little bit slyer with it than our friend Darnell. What, Ted? Sorry? Callum Patterson doesn't win Little Knob of the Week. Ted, I'm not being funny. You're better than that. You really are better than that. You saw it. You saw the pictures. I did see the pictures, Ted, but to be honest, I wasn't really looking at that. That was, you know, the award is Little Knob of the Week. So Darnell Fisher, on behalf of Ted, Little Knob of the Week. Right, Ted, you have a better week. Stay off the booze, because it wasn't a good look coming on the show half cut. I'm not going to lie. You know, I have a coffee when I do it, and you're all coming here stinking of booze. Yeah, okay. Anyway, you got to go now. So see you later, my little furry friend. Yeah, okay, yeah, see ya. All right, there was Ted. Wow. Who saw that one coming as the Little Knob of the Week award? So anyway, most of you know the story of Stoke Gabriel FC by now. We've been featuring on the show now since, I think it was episode 4 that we first introduced you all to Stoke Gabriel FC. If you don't, if this is your first time watching, I accept there's always going to be people just joining on board now. So basically they have a terrible record this season. They lost all their players in the summer. They started again from scratch. They wanted to stay at the highest level. They've played 15 league games. They've lost 15. They've taken some incredible batterings in that time. They conceded well over 150 goals this season. So that's an average of 10 a game. And they've had some big ones in there as well. We've had some great fun with them. The guys have been brilliant there, and we're trying to back them, and hence why I'm wearing the shirt every week until they win a game. It won't come off. It does come off. I just wear it for the show. I don't actually wear it all the time. But finally, when we got Zooming In going, one of the first people I wanted to get on this show was the guys from Stoke Gabriel. So we had a bit of to and fro as to who was going to come on, but we got there in the end. We have the first team manager, Mark Richardson, and young goalkeeper, Josh Organ. Both agreed to come on Zooming In. So earlier in the week, I caught up with both of them. We had a great bit of fun. I hope you enjoy. Probably hit pause, make yourself a coffee, and settle back down. Ted, what? Hang on. What? You want to watch the Stoke Gabriel boys? Okay, strap in, enjoy. Let's go. Right. Welcome to another episode of Zooming In, part of the Beat the First Man podcast. I'm delighted to say that this week we are joined by no less than Mark Richardson, the first team manager, and Josh Organ, the first team goalkeeper from Stoke Gabriel FC. So good evening, gents. How are we?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Evening, Mark. Yeah, I'm all right.
So, Stoke Gabriel, for those of you who aren't aware, and if you aren't aware, where have you been for the last 5 or 6 weeks, are having what can only be described as a difficult season. So they've played 15, won none, drawn none, lost 15, scored 5, 2 of which were in the last game, and conceded 187. I'm sorry, I took it off your website. You shouldn't have had it on the website. It's not my fault. So first up, Mark, how have you not been sacked?
I know, it's a miracle. It's been a tough season, but I think mood in the camp's still pretty good. Everyone's upbeat and we keep going.
Yeah, in fairness, I know obviously there was a lot of changes that happened in the closed season. Do you want to just tell people how it's come about that you are having such a tough season? That's not, we have a joke and we have a laugh about it on here, but the reality, I've been involved in non-league football, so I know what it's like. And the reality is to go out and do what you guys are doing every week takes some pretty big kahunas. So how have you got in the position where you're effectively, what I understand, a very, very young side playing in a serious men's league every week?
Yeah, from my understanding, I've only been kind of within the club since the 24th of August. I think over the summer, a lot of players left, managers left, committee members left. Literally weeks before start of the season, no manager, no players. The club let their reserves go. They decided to play at the highest level they can play at, so they've kept the Peninsula League team going, and it's literally, do you want to play football? Yes, we'll get them in. We had a lot of the 18s that have joined in, and since we have added a bit more experience, so there's a bit more in there, and the results don't do us justice. I think some of the times we've played, we've played good football, and the results don't do some of the performances justice. We let our heads go quickly and that, so.
Yeah, and it's easy done. When you get in a rut, it's very, you lose what tends, from experience and playing I played for a Sunday League side once who were very similar, and you lose one and you tend to lose 2 or 3 very quickly straight after it, and that used to be kind of a bit of a pattern that developed with us going back a few years.
Yeah, definitely. You can see once we can get that, if we can get that first win, you can see it going on a little run.
Yeah. So Josh, so how's your back? Because without being cool, you're bending out like the net. But I was going to say, because I know I've done my research and my homework, you've won an awful lot of Man of the Match awards this season, and you've had a lot of respect from opposition teams, etc. How difficult is it for you? Obviously, behind, you're in a team where you look down the scores, and from the outside looking in, it just looks like you're getting battered every week, and that's what the general public will see. But you're clearly having a good season as an individual, and you only have to read opposition reports, opposition manager comments, the fact you get Man of the Match awards. How difficult is it for you to take those awards, knowing that perhaps you've just had such a heavy beating that you've had on that day?
Yeah, it is hard, especially as, like you said, the public look at results and ultimately people just go, well, it's the keeper's fault. But I try my best and I give everything for the team, the club and Mark, and all I can do is just accept what I get given.
Yeah, I think, from my aspect, I mean, my lad Keane, who was on last week, is a goalie, so I know, you have my utmost sympathies because I've been there and seen him getting hammerings, even though he's walked away with man of the match in a sort of, 10, 11-0 defeat, and he's made 15, 16 good saves. I think personally, you've got balls of absolute steel, mate, to keep doing it every week, and I'll take my hat off to you because, especially, it's boys football is a little bit different because by the time you get in the car and you're being driven home, you've forgotten all about it. But men's football, it's tough. And, to keep going back for more, honestly, I'd take my hat off to you, mate. So keep going because it's, really, you're a credit.
Yeah, will do. I'll keep going.
So the big question that we all want to know, let's be honest. So when is the first victory coming?
5th of December.
5th of
Next
December.
game back.
I'm writing that down.
First game back, yeah.
First game back. So who's the first game back against?
Plymouth Mahjong.
Right, now you've played them once this season already because I got pulled up for my pronunciation by someone on Twitter.
Yeah, we played them not long ago, to be honest with you, and we were dreadful that day. It's probably the worst performance we've given all season.
Yeah.
So,
right.
But no, we're going to come back strong.
Right, I'm looking forward to honestly, when that win comes, this podcast is going to go into absolute meltdown. We're going to have a whale of a time. I'm going to have each player on one by one. Well, you may or may not know, but the podcast has agreed to come sponsor one of your home matches. And we're going to come down and we're going to do a bit of filming down at the club. All being well, we'll get as many guys involved as we can. So, and Ted might even be coming as well, by all accounts.
Nice one.
With his shirt. What game would you reckon? What's the one that we should come down to? We're thinking sort of maybe February, March time when, the weather's getting a bit nicer. Lockdown might have eased a bit more. So what game should we be looking out for if we were looking down the list to come to?
Which one do you reckon, Josh?
I don't even know. I haven't even looked that far in the fixtures. I just take each game as it comes. Yeah, so
Get the fixtures up.
Yeah.
Who's down?
I'll leave that one to you, Mark.
Who's down near the bottom that you've not played at home?
Axminster.
Yeah, still got Axminster.
Axminster are 19th. We haven't played them at home yet.
Right. Well,
that'd be a good game. They were a good team. How they're down there, I don't know.
Right, we're making a note of that one. We'll have a look.
Oh, the 13th of February.
13th of February.
Sidmouth at home.
A Valentine's weekend treat for the wife.
Exactly. Down in sunny Devon.
What more could she ask for?
Not a lot.
So, Mark, there is a question I've got to ask you because you know how this world works and information travels very fast. I've been told to ask you about Robbie Savage. Is there anything you want to share?
No, that'll be Liam Dodd, I'm guessing. Keeps telling me I sound like he tells me I sound like Robbie Savage. I tell him he plays like a crap Neil Lennon.
And Josh, how's the new baby brother keeping you up?
Nah, I'm all right at the moment. I'm a distance away from the family, mum and dad's room anyway, so it's not an issue for me. I sleep through everything mainly. Yeah,
I gave you a ready-made excuse then for any mistakes that you make when you come back, and you've just talked your way out of it.
Yeah, no, can't use that as an excuse.
Right, so we're going to go on to like the either or and the five-a-side. So Josh, we're going to start with you. So I was going to ask who is your team, but there's a flag behind which might give it away.
Yeah.
So Bristol City, for those who don't know.
City, yeah.
So what's been your biggest high supporting Bristol City?
Well, we made the playoffs in 2006. I don't really remember that. I was only 4.
Yeah.
But that would probably be one of the highs as a fan, yeah.
Yeah.
In general.
And what's been your lowest low supporting Bristol City?
Most seasons when we bought all the playoffs. We're always there. We're always like top half of the table, playoffs at like Christmas time, and then you look at the end of the season and we finish like 11th, 12th, and it's just demoralising each season.
Well, you do know as a Leeds fan, we have a lovely relationship with your old manager who you've now got rid of, and we didn't laugh very much when he finally got sacked because we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Guilty pleasure. What other team was your guilty pleasure? Another team that you don't support, but you can't help but like or admire.
Don't really know. I support, obviously, I follow the local teams around us, like Torquay, Exeter, Plymouth.
Yeah.
Other than that, I just watch any football that's on, really.
Sounds good to me. So either or time. So they're all very probing questions, difficult stuff this. So Stoke Gabriel win or England win the Euros?
Stoke Gabriel win.
Nice.
Good. A good answer. So some of these are more goalkeeper based. So Jordan,
All right.
England or no England?
Ooh. I would probably go no England.
Ooh,
Nick Pope's better.
Who would you put in instead? Sorry? Nick Pope.
Nick Pope. Yeah.
Mark, just out of interest, England or no England?
Yeah, England.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Scottish. Can you keep him in, please? VAR or no VAR?
Definitely not.
How about goal line technology?
Yeah, that I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, this seems to be
not having it that low, not having it as low as we play has helped me out a few times. There's been a few dodgy decisions, but can't do anything about them.
Surely not. Surely you don't get dodgy linesmen and referees at your level. I'm not having it.
We have the occasional one or two, yeah.
So a penalty save or a dive at the feet of a striker in a one-on-one?
I don't really know on that one. Probably would have to be a penalty save because it's all eyes on you.
Yeah. And then an outfield one, Ronaldo or Messi?
Ronaldo.
With the split now, that's 1-1. 2 weeks in, it's 1-1. Champions League and Europa League or lineal European Cup and lineal UEFA Cup?
Lineal Europa Cup and lineal UEFA Cup.
Is the right answer. Ted or Pudsey?
Ted.
It's also the right answer. So, Mr. Richardson or Mr. Savage, whichever one I have to call you, I have to make sure I get it right. Don't want to upset your colleagues. So the rules are pretty simple. So your ultimate five-a-side team of players that you've watched live, so it can't include TV, it has to be players you've watched in the flesh. The only rules are 1 goalkeeper, 1 defender, 2 midfielders, 1 striker. So we'll start with your goalie if you care.
This was a tough one. Seen people at Blundell Park, David James, David Seaman, but I went for the first goalkeeper I ever see, which was Nigel Batch.
Well, I'm willing to bet that alongside last week's Kieran Westwood, you're going to be the only person who's got Nigel Batch as their ultimate five-a-side goalkeeper. So for those who don't know and who didn't catch that, who's your team, Mark?
Grimsby Town.
Grimsby Town. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. Right. So first defender, I'm gonna have a prediction here. One of the Futchers makes it in the team.
How did you guess?
Because I'm showing my age.
Yeah, my defender's the great late Paul Futcher.
Paul Futcher, yeah.
He was quality. When he signed for Grimsby from Halifax, he was absolutely quality. We had a couple of good defenders there at the time, Mark Lever, Peter Handeside, and he just passed on his experience, his knowledge to them. They became great players themselves, but he was just quality on the ball. So steady, he never rushed, he never got flustered. He was brilliant.
And when he played for you, excuse my ignorance of what division you're in at the time, what division were Grimsby in at the time?
We got promoted from the old 4th division to the 3rd division under Alan Buckley.
Yeah, and did he play as well as at the back? Did he play up front as well, or was that his brother that played up front?
That was his brother, that was Ron.
Right. Cool. Right, so your second defender alongside Mr. Futcher then?
It was 1 defender, wasn't it? 2 midfielders.
Oh, sorry, 1 defender, yeah, so you're your first midfielder, sorry. Yeah, it's only my podcast and I'm screwing it up.
First one would be Rudollet.
Oh. Good call.
Saw him for Chelsea against Grimsby FA Cup 1996, I believe, on a freezing cold day at Blundell Park. He was absolute garbage, but we went there in the replay. He took Grimsby Town apart.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rudel at first.
Class act, and what a player, and I think even in today's game where the pace has gone up another level from then, he would still easily fit in today's game without a shadow of a doubt.
Definite.
His brain was about 5 yards ahead of everybody else's.
Easily.
Yeah. Cool. So your second midfielder,
probably one of the best technical players I've ever seen, Liam Brady.
Chipper Brady.
Oh, Chippy.
Yeah. So why Mr. Brady in your side then?
He was again quality on the ball, or he could ping a pass, something. He could pick a pass with the Ivan Needle. That guy, he was something different.
So Josh, quick question before we go on to the striker. Out of the 4 so far, how many have you heard of?
One, Hullet.
So just a striker to go then, Mark.
This one, I've got so many. Obviously, we've seen like Gary Lineker at Blundell Park. We had the great Omar Boogum, and it came down between 2. And in the end, on his day, it was unplayable. I went for Clive Mendonca.
Clive Mendonca.
On his day, it was a shame he was injury prone, because on his day, he was quality.
Went on to play for Sunderland, correct, yeah?
They went to Charlton. They beat Sunderland the playoff finals 4-3 and got a hat-trick. And he just pips for me, Gary Birtles.
Right, okay. Did you have Birtles before he went to Forest? Yeah.
No, he finished with us.
Right.
And that was, again, 1991. Final game of the season, we beat Wrexham at home 5-1, and he got a hat-trick.
Happy days.
They were the happy days. Under Buckley, it was some of the best football I've seen.
Do you get back to see them much now, or?
I watched them when they come down here. Yeovil, Plymouth, Exeter. I haven't been to Blundell Park. Well, I've been down here 7 years. I haven't seen them since about 10 years since I've seen them. Back in Blundell Park. So.
Good stuff. So just to reiterate then, so we've got Nigel Batch in goal, Paul Futcher at the back, Rude Hullet and Liam Brady in midfield, and Clive Mendonca up front.
Quality side.
There we go. So we got, so far, 2 weeks in, we've had 10 separate players for the ultimate five-a-side. So let's see how long that keeps going before somebody names someone that someone else has already done. So lastly, gents, you've failed miserably, because that is all the time for your word. And none of you even shouted the buzzer, so you failed.
Didn't think of that.
I forgot. Victory.
It was early on as well.
It was, yeah. One of my questions.
I know. It's directly you, Josh.
Yeah.
I thought I'll set it up for the youngster to grab the glory.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it.
Oh, Josh.
But gents, just before we end, and I've even wrote this down to make sure I don't miss any of this out. So we've had some fun with you on this podcast, and I don't make any apologies for poking a little bit of fun, because I think I do it with the best possible spirit, and I've been backing you boys all the way. And a lot of it is about trying to raise your profile as much as anything else. And the reality is, the more we can push it out there, the more likelihood is someone's going to come forward and help, even if it's just to sponsor a match, or if it's for somebody to come and watch a game. And that's what it's all about. I was involved in non-league, a club called Whitney Town many years ago. And I was involved for years and years, and I know what it's like week in, week out. You're giving your everything, and you end up on a Saturday and it's just it's soul destroying. And I just wanted to say from the bottom of our heart, you guys are the reason we love this game. You're an absolute credit to football, because to keep coming back week in, week out, what you've done, and just keep going, and the faith that you continue to show, trust me, everybody is massively right behind you. And we all just cannot wait for that first win. And I know you boys will be desperate for it. I know there's nothing you want more, but we will ride along on the coattails of that victory and enjoy every second of it as much as you guys will, because I think we all want you to succeed, and I think that's the reality of it. And clearly you guys you're confident in what you're doing, and I think you're all confident you're going to turn it around. Do you think you'll get the mid-table that Gary thinks you'll get?
Mid-table, I think we're still going to win it.
You did tell me that. You did say you still think the title was on.
Oh, mathematically, it's still there, so you never know. Watch this space and a good cup run.
Yeah, well, no, but genuinely from the bottom of my heart, and I'm sure I speak on everyone who's ever watched this podcast at any stage and anyone that hasn't, I wish you all the best, guys, and genuinely, I hope you this, if not this season, because let's face it, it's not all about this season. This season's about building a core of a team ready to go again next season. In reality, I think, if you started from scratch at the start of August, you guys will be a year further in. Josh, you'll be a year older. You'll have had experience like you'll never, ever gain in your lifetime this year, and you'll be ready to go again next year, and you'll be stronger again. And, I wish you all the luck in the world, and you thoroughly deserve it. And as a club, you are exactly the type of club that, football clubs up and down the country are doing weekly, everyone sees football as this great money-making machine that there's players earning hundreds of thousands. You guys are real football, and you're what it's about. And I think, that's why I've enjoyed having you guys as part of my podcast and having a bit of fun with it. And the good thing is as well, you don't take yourselves too seriously. You're up for a bit of fun. You're up for a bit of a laugh, and and you've joined in both ways. And I know for a fact that you all gave the video of the first one to the chairman and just sat there and waited for his reaction because I was tipped off. You don't take yourself you do take yourself seriously, and you want to succeed and you want to win, but you're enjoying yourselves as well, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we'll get there. You say it's what it's about. We have fun. Yeah, it's about winning, but you know what? We're still a collective group. We dust ourselves down, we go again.
Yeah, exactly. And 5th of December, we'll all be watching Plymouth Mahon. Look out. We're coming for you, boys. So we'll call an end to zooming in. So we'll see you all next week. Hopefully I'll have another guy on next week. I'm not sure who it's going to be yet. Still in talks with a Leeds-based band who will almost definitely be on. And I'm on the verge of getting somebody quite exciting to come on the show as well. So hopefully I can just get that one over the line. But for now, from myself, from Mark Richardson, from Josh Organ, thanks very much. See you all soon.
Cheers, buddy.
So there you go. There was the Stoke Gabriel, Mark Richardson and Josh Organ. Ted, what did you think? Class lads. I want to go out on a night out with them. Okay. All about the drink, Ted. Right, off you go. So, they were two genuinely really good guys, proper football people, right up for a laugh. I've promised them off air, if they win, I'm getting another Stoke Gabriel person on this zooming in feature that we do. All I'm going to say is mid-table. To those of you who have watched every episode, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about in wanting to get on here. So when that first win comes, and you heard it there first, December the 5th, Plymouth Mahon, they are calling it that they're going to win that game. That is the start of their run of victories. So we've got our guest booked in for next week as well on Zooming In. It's Oxfordshire musician Tom Davis. He's a solo artist. He's in two bands, New Depth and Fallen Angels. So young Tom's going to be on here next week, doing the usual bits on Zooming In, his ultimate five-a-side team, etc. So we look forward to seeing Tom on here next week. Got more guests lined up after that, so keep tuning in for the Zooming In feature. It's a bit of fun as well. We have a bit of a laugh doing it. So guest v knowledge, and last but not least, my weekly humiliation continues. As you may or may not know, before last week I was 6-4 down. We went for the Tottenham Man City game last week, and neither of us got it right. So the score remained after last week. Guest, aka Tracy the wife, 6. Knowledge, me, 4. So I'm still 2 behind going into this week's game. So in a little bit of keeping up with the Stoke Gabriel theme, our friend Liam Dodd, the first team captain, yes, he was the one who tipped me off about Robbie Savage. He gave us a game to go for this week, and all he was given was it had to be an FA Cup game. So we're going down to the FA Cup, and he chose Plymouth Argyle v Lincoln City. Guess has gone for an entertaining 4-goal thriller. She thinks the sides are going to share a 2-2 draw. We're only counting the score after 90 minutes, so extra time doesn't count if it goes to extra time, so it's just the 90-minute score. For me, this is a really tight one. Lincoln have made a real good flying start to the season under Michael Appleton and are doing very, very well in the league. I've got a feeling they may rest a few with it being the FA Cup. I think they might decide to just leave a few important players out. So I've got a feeling that Argyle are going to have too much for the Imps. So I'm going for a 2-0 win for Plymouth. And them to get into the third round. Obviously, I will now sit here later on today and wait for the inevitable egg to land on my face. So basically, that's pretty much it for this week's show. There was a little bit less of me this week because we had the zooming in feature was a bit longer than normal, so didn't want to put too much in there. So as I said at the start, thanks so much for watching, all of you. It's so much appreciated. Without you guys, this whole show is completely pointless. It's you guys that I do it for. So thank you again for watching. You'll also notice that I've been a bit clever this week. When you get near the end of the show, I've tried to make it a bit easier for you to subscribe. There will actually be a little button on the video somewhere. It'll come on right at the end, which you can just click, and that will subscribe you to the channel. Like we said, we really wanted to get up to 100. I haven't become some sort of technology genius. I used someone else's YouTube channel to find out how to do it. It's amazing what you can learn from YouTube these days. There's also a little one next to, this is one we haven't mentioned. So we've got the thumbs up one, you can do that. You've got the comments one, so you can type in there. I'll reply to every comment. If you comment on there, you'll get a reply. There's the subscribe one, which I've just told you about then. But there's also a little bell. And on that little bell, if you click that, that will give you notifications. So every time I upload an episode, you will never miss another one. So, make sure you click that as well. We don't want you missing any. As you know now, it's every Saturday. So thank you so much for watching. Have a safe week, have a good week, and we'll see you all next Saturday.